Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working our way through The Rape of Lucrece, which is a very long poem about sexual violence towards women and suicidal ideation. So if those are triggers for you, you may want to tune out. But also today we're looking at a painting. We're still looking at a painting. It's a very important painting to Lucrece. And today we're going to start to figure out why. There's going to be more explanation of the why tomorrow, but we'll start to get to the why of why this painting is so important. And the reason that Lucrece is looking at this painting is because she's tired of grieving. She's tired of living her current situation. She feels like she's cried out, not like, whoa, cried out, but like she doesn't have any tears left to cry at the moment. And she doesn't want to tell her story too many times. She wants to wait for her husband to come home so she can just tell it once and be done with it and then kill herself. So to pass the time while she's waiting for her husband to come home, she's been looking at this painting of the battle at Troy, over Helen of Troy, when they're sieging the place, and we've seen the various characters and they're all painted really well and very realistic, so that you can almost see the tears on their faces and the fear in these guys' eyes and the sly looks from Ulysses and all that sort of stuff. And stanza 205 picks up saying, "And from the walls of strong besieged Troy, when their brave hope, bold Hector, marched to field, stood many Trojan mothers, sharing joy to see their youthful sons bright weapons wield. And to hope they such odd action yield, that through their light joy it seemed to appear, like bright things stained, a kind of heavy fear. And from the strand of Dardan, where they fought, to Simois' reedy banks the red blood ran, whose waves to imitate the battle sought, with swelling ridges, and their ranks began to break upon the Gallid shore, and then retire again, till, meeting greater ranks, they join and shoot their foam at Simois' banks. To this well-painted piece is Lucrece come, to find a face where all distress is stilled. Many she sees where cares have carved some, but none where all distress and dole are dwelled. Till she, despairing Hecuba, beheld, staring on Priam's wounds with her old eyes, which, bleeding under Pyrrhus' proud foot, lies. In her the painter had anatomized time's ruin, beauty's wreck, and grim care's reign. Her cheeks with chaps and wrinkles were disguised, of what she was no semblance did remain. Her blue blood changed to black in every vein, wanting the spring that those shrunk pipes had fed, showed the life imprisoned in a body dead." Which, I'm sorry, all I can think after that is it not monstrous that this player here, but a fiction in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her workings all his visage wanned, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and all his functions suited with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing, for Hecuba. What is Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage in tears, cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy metal rascal, peak like John o' Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. So Hamlet, if you didn't get that, and sorry, that was a very sort of off-the-cuff rendition of that. But I think both of these speak to the power of the story of Hecuba losing Priam to Pyrrhus during this war that was going on, and the grief that Hecuba felt at losing him, because the first two of these stanzas is more describing of what's going on. It's saying that the Trojan soldiers are all marching off and their mothers look kind of happy but also kind of afraid for their sons to be going off to war. But then it also talks about sort of the rivers of blood flowing off of the battlefield, and how, it sort of surges, but then draws back, but then gathers together and gets more momentum and feeds into streams and stuff like that. And Lucretia comes and she looks at all of this stuff. She looks at all of these people, all of these faces, all of these various feelings about this war, because she's looking for somebody that feels like her, and she doesn't see anybody until she sees Hecuba, because caught in Hecuba's face is the ruin of time, the ruin of beauty, the ruin of care. All of this, she no longer looks like what she used to. All of her glory is gone. And in that image, Lucretia is able to find some comfort, because that's how she feels in this moment. So when Hamlet gets all upset that the player can move himself so much by talking about Hecuba, what is Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her, that's who she is. And that's how impactful that story is. So that's sort of the payoff that's happening there. But he's gonna expound a bit more on what Hecuba means to Lucretia in the next couple stanzas. So come on back for that. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.